All right, Byron, what you got?
There's that. All right, Kate.
All right, joining us right now is Republican Congressman from Florida, Trump campaign surrogate, Byron Donalds. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Bouncing off the conversation that Harry and Sarah were just having, how undecided do you think the diminishing number of undecided voters really are this election at this point?
I believe they're somewhat undecided. I think they're juggling through the realities of America. Number one, the economy, this massive inflation created by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. The immigration problems.
Very much wrong. First one.
And the pandemic.
I would definitely say lies. What would you say?
Yep.
Any other ones? I'd also say that I would use... I would also say whataboutism. Definitely whataboutism.
Yeah.
How about the fart?
Well, that's what's coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Yeah.
It's exactly what that is. Calling them out. Now, they're not going to get by with nothing.
Country are real. They're looking at that. But then I also do believe they're having to juggle with also a lot of the rhetoric that's out there in terms of where the country's going and who's going to protect the country. And I think if you look at the facts are very clear that Donald Trump addresses the issues that concerns Americans, the economy, our borders, and our foreign policy.
In no articulate way, with no meaningful or substantive policy, with blinding fear and propaganda. Look, he's doing a great job of convincing people who don't understand anything or know what's going on to be scared of anything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you can just play on people's innate fears.
Yeah.
And then you can get them to make knee-jerk reactions instead of looking into things, finding the facts, forming an actual opinion, and then moving forward.
Well, confirmation bias is warm and gooey.
It's like caramel.
It's like that perfect mixture of peanut butter and chocolate. It's gorgeous.
And what Vice President Harris is talking about is not those issues. She's talking about wanting to look forward, or unfortunately, there's still a lot of negative rhetoric coming from her campaign, basically saying her and her surrogates that Donald Trump is some threat to democracy,
She wants to
which is a
look forward.
flat-out lie.
Perfect.
And that lie can be proven to be a lie because he was already president of the United States. The country was thriving when he was president of the United States, and there were no new wars when he was president of the United States.
In terms of
Lies.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Straight up. Like,
even before the pandemic, his numbers weren't great. He had severely slowed Obama, the growth pattern and trend left by Obama in terms of employment and GDP growth.
well,
He injected a hell of a lot of volatility into markets that weren't there before.
this whole no new wars thing, did they completely forget about how much interaction he had with freeing 5,000 Taliban? And I don't know. Do you remember Syria?
Yeah. Or Yemen.
Wasn't there a war started in Sudan or Rwanda during his time? Like it was a war in Africa because it wasn't between white people. He didn't give a shit about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that they love to use the no new wars thing because they love to really parrot that thing that Putin tells them to say. And it's like, yeah, I caused a war, because you could then say that there's wars under Biden. Like, but the low information voter doesn't know this. And I guess this is why we're here now.
If you look at the military, hostile military activity that's going on in the world, and you look at who it's been perpetrated by, tells me it's Trump's friends doing it. Is that to be noticed?
Or at least the people that he's writing love letters to.
Oh, the international
And
mean
host
girls.
Mar-a-Lago.
The international mean girls.
Yeah.
Trudeau is a fugly slut. It's
Or the
the
dictator sent them love letters in writing, and Trump sends back a picture book.
no. I'm just imagining like they have a burn book like in Mean Girls, and like that's what him and Putin and Kim Jong-un are doing. They're sitting there scrolling about Justin Trudeau and Emmanuel Macron.
Angela Merkel.
Yep. Oh yeah, they're doing serious hate.
Amazing.
Frederick, do you think Donald Trump in the Trump campaign, do you think they have a problem with rhetoric as well?
No, and I don't. I think especially in light of the fact that there's
They don't get far, do they?
Yeah, this new fallacy detector is really crazy.
You know what the next idea is?
That was a lot of projection.
Fallacy counter.
Yeah, it's almost like for those of you playing along at home, maybe in the comments when you watch this YouTube video, feel free to tally up the fallacies. I'd say that falls under projection because we all know the rhetoric that Trump uses and that JD Vance uses, and the fact that he's lying now, and, you know, shelter where Haitian immigrants live in Springfield, Ohio has been burned, almost in the same way that this same stuff that came from Russia on down to England made it so that in the UK riots, the hotels where the immigrants were staying at was burned down. It's almost like this is coordinated or on purpose.
You know what I was wondering? I'm wondering, Springfield, is that like a Democratic stronghold? Are they being singled out because of their voter base? I wouldn't put it past the GOP. And JD, that's his state, so he would know.
Hold on a
It
second.
feels insidious to me. But that's just me.
I'm going to put my headphones in so I'm not getting any bleed back because I just have you coming through my monitor. There we go. Look at us. We are professionals.
Yeah. The only reason I say that is because the sheriff of that town was telling people to report on their neighbors, like write their addresses down if they saw Kamala Harris and Walz signs in their yards. The fucking sheriff. So
Yeah, I saw that. Like,
that's the best coordination to me. That's they're really big into voter suppression, and Mark Elias is kicking their asses in courts all across this country. So I wouldn't put it past them to go with their constitutional sheriffs, quote unquote, and go do nefarious shit like this.
well, I mean, you know, Trump already said that it was going to be local sheriffs that were going to be the ones responsible for doing the rounding up.
One, assholes like that sheriff in Ohio will be the happy ones going door to door to go scoop up your neighbors and, you know, ship them to countries they've never been to.
I mean, Trump literally said it'll be a bloody evolution. I mean, they're all saying the quiet parts out loud.
Yeah. And they've said them enough times not for it to be a mistake.
Believe them.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe them when they...
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not subtle about it. And JD Vance even admitted that he made up the whole, you know, eating the pets thing.
Yeah, I
Just to
mean,
push
he
his
admitted it
agenda
completely.
forward. Yeah. He said, whatever I have to do to push my agenda forward, that's what I'll do. If I have to make up a story, I'll make it up. And Dana Bash was like, excuse me, what?
She's like, did you just realize you said you were making up stories? Like
Like live on air.
Like, you know that, right?
You know we're on TV now. Say
Right.
those things.
You know, everything you
hear
just
us.
said is admissible in court, right? You know this doesn't fall under the speech and debate clause, right?
No.
Maybe they don't.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe they are that dumb. Oh, bless their hearts.
I mean, the possibility of that being an option is not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, look.
Yeah, I mean, they surround themselves with yes men.
Well, look at Paul Gosar. Like, that man knows nothing. He knows nothing.
Call me Tuberville.
Oh,
my
God.
Idiot.
Oh,
No one's more military
Senator
than
John
me.
Kennedy. Strap another one on.
With the strap on.
I want to see that bill go with the Senate. You like legislation? I got some down the cellar. I got a couple of strap-ons there.
Who chooses to talk like that?
That man.
yeah. No one who can hear it and knows.
No one's who is getting invited to my barbecue.
Mm.
Now, if it's just, like that's your natural voice and you can't help it, that's a different story. But he puts on like the most Huckleberry Hound sounding, like
The foghornest leghorn of voices. Foghornest?
Is it just because he feels the need that he needs to connect with the camo crowd? Like, what's the deal? I mean, he went to an elite college, but he's, I don't know, sort of afraid to admit it, but yet has no problem taking on the powerful role that going to an elite college allows you, like senator.
Yeah.
A second assassination attempt on the life of President Trump? I do not believe so. What we are seeing now is that you do have radical elements of the Democrat Party, people who have been radicalized.
No, I'm sorry, fallacy.
Fallacy.
Okay. Why is he bringing up the Democratic Party? Okay. The second, it wasn't an attempt because no attempt was made. He was there. Let's use real terms to talk about what really happened.
All right. Well, first thing I'm going to do is say lies because
So far,
they were both registered Republicans.
Yeah. Both Trump voters, guys.
So
Well,
don't
why are
give
you
me that
bringing
any
us
of
into it?
radicalized
This isn't
Democrats.
our mess. We
Yeah,
didn't do
you
this.
Republicans need to stop shooting at each other
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then blaming
Yeah.
Democrats for it.
Yeah, like girls, you're both pretty. Calm down. Go to opposite ends of the room. Figure out your own shit.
It's
Okay?
getting really old.
Yeah, the adults are trying to conduct business here. We have a country to run and save. Figure your own shit out.
You guys are fucking it up.
All right, here we go. Man, can we literally go 10 seconds without a fallacy?
Rhetoric from
Let's
Democrat
see.
No.
officials.
Not with
Talking
Byron
about
Donald.
he's a threat to democracy, but that's simply not true. Talking about
All day.
It is
bringing
true.
Project 2025, we know that is not true.
Okay.
What was that? 4 seconds?
Why is he mentioned in it 300 times,
What?
man? It's not his plan, but his name is in it 300 times? Okay.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's only called the Presidential Transition Project. And it has how many of his advisors and staff on the project? How many?
I wonder how many. Yeah, and 17? 16, 17? Doesn't matter.
Like a hell of a lot. Let's put it that way. So,
And all the surrounding characters as well.
So I'm definitely going to say that not only is that a lie, but I would also say that it's deflection because they don't want us to call out what his actual plans are. That's why he can't say he has a plan for anything, because his plan is Project 2025, but he can't say his Project 2025. Mm-hmm. It's astounding.
That is a lie. Donald Trump has distanced himself.
No, sir. That what you said was a lie.
Wait a minute. Donald Trump has distanced himself from. Let him finish and then pause it. If you would.
The Heritage Foundation has said
from that. Okay.
The Heritage Foundation says he has nothing to do with it.
Here's the thing. He just said he put distance between himself and Project 2025, which means that they used to be like this. Before. If he's saying that, no, Trump put distance in between himself and Project 2025 means they were, aligned.
Yeah.
That is his baby. And him saying, I'm not involved, isn't putting distance. It's him lying.
Oh, we know you're not involved. You've never written any substantial piece of any document in your life. So let's be real clear. Like, these people are feeding you the legislation as a figurehead to what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't even got his head around everything they want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's easy to see that he has his talking points, and Roy Cohn 101. This is the Deconing MAGA series, after all.
What was that, Benny?
I said whatever satisfies the rich and powerful, he is for it.
Yeah, and to make sure not only he gets more money, but his compromise doesn't ever come to light.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody has compromise if you're a Republican. It's like how it goes.
But they say these things anyway. What Donald Trump has been talking about is we're going to fix our borders. We're going to have a great economy again.
Lies. He sunk the border bill. He sunk the border bill so he could run on it. And he specifically said, blame me. So that one was just too. Oh my God. Could you imagine if they actually did this on the actual news?
Wouldn't get much news done.
We have counted how many fallacies, and this has been a 2-minute interview so far.
Yeah. I can't say it's getting much further.
We're going to get out of this conflict. We're going to make America great again. That is his rhetoric. So I think if you compare the nastiness from Kamala Harris's campaign and from the Democrat Party compared to what we've been talking about really for the last 9 years, but specifically the last year and a half in this.
Sorry, that's projection. That is nothing but projection all day long.
What parallel universe is he in?
I don't know. The thing is that if you repeat a lie enough times, people will believe it.
This campaign, no, I do not agree that it is the same rhetoric. There's no moral equivalency in the rhetoric between these two campaigns.
I think any serious person would also say, Congressman, that Donald Trump is a source of heated and dangerous rhetoric over months and years. I mean, even Republicans who support him and are voting for him this election have basically begged him to tone it down. So if Republicans who even support you say that you've got a problem, you need to tone it down. You've got a mayor in Springfield, Ohio saying you guys need to tone it down because we now have bomb threats on schools in our area. There's a problem also, in the general rhetoric of the campaign that the term that is often criticized, but that if you want to say both sides should address, but right? Logically?
Well, actually, let's dig into this a little bit more. And thank you for bringing this up. Yes, we've heard from the Springfield mayor, and nobody wants bomb threats or anything like that. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have been talking about reports coming out of Springfield. J.D. Vance represents the state of Ohio. He's talking about things that his constituents have brought to him. But let's compare that to the fact that Kamala.
Lies. J.D. Vance admitted he made it up.
Is this before or
best,
after the Dana
the closest he could come up with evidence was said constituents of his called his office and told stories of this. No word of any follow up or fact checking or due diligence on it. Just repeating it. Just absolute bullshit.
Well, because they know that, the trigger happy rednecks aren't going to care if people are actually Haitian. They're just like, they're black and in Springfield. They're just, an apartment building got burned down. Somebody got punched in the eye. Like, this is deliberate. The Proud Boys are there marching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's intimidation. It's fear. It's how they keep control. It's fascistic. It's how they
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
I hope someone there next episode.
One more time?
I really, really hope that there's got to be some sort of repercussion aside from the ballot box for him inciting a city into almost a crisis over a lie.
Yeah. Yeah. Over someone's political lie.
Yeah. There's no other word for it. It is a lie.
Harris in the debate last week, she lied about Donald Trump's bloodbath comments. Why did she say that? Because she wants to invoke a negative energy around the campaign of Donald Trump, frankly, to affect these undecided voters that we talked about at the top. What does she also talk about?
Congressman, you and I have gone back and forth a lot about fact checking that can happen.
Kate, can you acknowledge that Kamala Harris lied?
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Let him talk over it.
Comments again, something that even Snopes has debunked and said is fake news, that it is wrong that his statements were taken out of.
She lied. She didn't.
No, he said that there were good people on both sides. Like, sorry.
Yeah, he said this. Yeah,
he made the bloodbath comment,
and he's saying that is referring to the auto industry. But what he does is he says something just so there's enough plausible deniability. But his followers hear the dog whistle.
Yeah.
So I guess for that one, just more lies, straight up.
More lies.
Context, those are the direct lies coming from Kamala Harris. So if you're going to talk about the invective put into this campaign that Kamala Harris and her campaign has done, trying to invoke a negative response from voters in our country versus Donald Trump talking about issues, whether
talking about the issues and demonizing most of America. Yeah,
I'm going to go with projection on this one. Just due to the fact, just due to the fact that Harris administration says strictly they denounce political violence.
Yeah. Only one party has come out and strictly denounced political violence.
Oh, well, I don't think it was the Democrats that were laughing about Paul Pelosi.
No.
Or making fucking Halloween costumes.